So here's the thing. Oppenheimer, an R-rated, 3-hour historical biopic about physics and politics, just outgrossed The Flash, with Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck both returning as Batman.
Embarrassing!
It also outgrossed Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Indiana Jones, Fast 10,
Family.
and the latest Transformers entry. Is 2023 the year that the landscape of box office dominance has finally changed? Will this allow for more challenging and unique productions to be ordered by the studios for major theatrical release? I mean, even Tenet is getting a re-release this year, a film that makes me feel challenged. Well, like, how 2023 reshaped the cinematic landscape, what it means for this year, and the future of the movie industry. Next. I'm not sure why I said next. Intros are pointless. The summer blockbuster season of 2023 seems on paper like the first normalish one in a long while. All of the elements are there. There have been franchise installments, superhero installments, nostalgia sequels, heavily marketed monster hits, a couple of low-budget specialty breakouts, respectable art house releases, and a few scattered family movies raking in solid bucks too. And after years of paltry returns, this summer's been a whopper. July 2023 is the second biggest month in box office returns history. The crown still belongs to July 2011, when the final Harry Potter movie was released. And also this. Yet the lines haven't fallen in the usual places. You can kind of see where they were supposed to fall over. Mission Impossible, Fast 10,
Family.
and Indiana Jones didn't do nearly as well as some of their predecessors. All three opened well below the previous film in the series, in Indy's case, 40 million below, and they've all been slower to earn as well. Meanwhile, Elemental, while raking in decent money, still struggled in comparison to its older Pixar siblings, and The Flash was just an unqualified flop, just an absolute pile of. Not long ago, franchise films, superheroes, and Pixar releases were the backbone of the summer blockbuster season. Essentially, Robert Downey Jr. said,
Family.
and the next decade and a half were dominated by comic book movies, with the MCU becoming the most profitable film franchise at the box office of all time. Yay! Nice! Whether it be the Avengers films, Spider-Man, Batman, Wonder Woman, Guardians,
Family.
maybe not that one, but it was almost assured that any film in the genre would be a massive hit. Over the course of Phase 3 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which spanned 11 films from 2016 to 2019, the franchise was averaging over $1 billion at the box office with every new release.
It's a whole lot of money in this motherfucker.
However, as the 2020s have progressed, it has become more apparent that the comic book and superhero films are not exciting audiences to the degree that they used to. While there are a few key exceptions like Spider-Man No Way Home and Matt Reeves' The Batman, many of the films produced by Marvel and DC have been underperforming quite substantially throughout the last few years. I mean, just look at this graph. That shift has become even more apparent in 2023. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which was billed as the must-see kickoff to the MCU's Phase 5, was the lowest grossing of all three Ant-Man films, which were never overly strong performers to begin with. Not to mention it was also a pile of. Meanwhile, DC has already experienced two disastrous releases this year, with Shazam: Fury of the Gods in March and The Flash in June. To make matters worse, last year's Black Panther: Wakanda Forever and Thor: Love and Thunder both came up short of their predecessors' box office totals as well. Black Adam also received mostly negative reviews, and its box office performance ended up being a big disappointment for The Rock and Warner Brothers, but mainly The Rock. The general enthusiasm surrounding the superhero genre at large doesn't seem as intense now as it was 2 or 3 years ago even. On the one hand, that means Marvel Studios may never again achieve the kind of pop cultural dominance it did when it released Avengers Endgame. On the other hand, yeah, this one here, it doesn't mean that the superhero genre is going anywhere anytime soon.
I'm Batman.
The occasional box office bomb has never truly hurt any genre either. In fact, signaling to studios like Marvel and DC that moviegoers won't automatically fall over themselves with excitement about every new thing they put out is the only way to ensure that both studios try to maintain some kind of base quality level. A decreased enthusiasm for superhero movies opens the door for moviegoers to start exploring other genres and stories again, and that's exactly what 2023 has shown us. Sound of Freedom, for instance, a movie about was propelled along by deploying the movie they don't want you to see culture war. But money's what matters, and Sound of Freedom has made bank, grossing more than $150 million in its US release. That's about 10 million more than what Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning has made in the US, and a whole pile more than Black Adam has made. That pile of. And Sound of Freedom isn't exactly the kind of spectacle and effects-driven movie you go to in order to turn off your brain and enjoy your popcorn. But neither is Oppenheimer.
Scientific innovation connected here. Secret laboratory.
Christopher Nolan remains one of the few reliably commercial blockbuster directors whose work is also genuinely challenging. And his 3-hour biopic about the father of the atomic bomb, a movie which is almost entirely just men in rooms talking about physics and politics, may just join the $1 billion club.
It's a whole lot of money in this motherfucker.
Also, I just want to say real quick that it's sad news. Yeah, you can leave the sad music playing, that's fine. Unfortunately, one of Rec Rap's top journalists is now locked up for life after illegally obtaining this exclusive footage of inside the $1 billion club. And I think all he would want from all of you is a like on this video, and probably to get out of prison. But if you could just do the like for now, this one's for you, Jerry. I think movies like Oppenheimer and Sound of Freedom outperforming all of these major franchise blockbusters prove that the pendulum is swinging back. Gosh, I'll have to get that pendulum oiled up. Sorry about that. From audiences only flocking to giant tentpole effects-driven movies, to films that are more challenging and aren't necessarily as easy to digest. I mean, portions of Oppenheimer are shot in black and white, as it tells a complex story through different points in time. Events and cultural moments are what sell tickets now, and comic book films have been the event films for the past decade. But I tend to believe that we're currently experiencing a change in the landscape. The best way to create event films, in my opinion, is to let creators create. I think audiences are sick of seeing the same old patterns reused with each coming film. I mean, just look at Nolan's demands for Oppenheimer and his missing shoulder. It was somewhat of a box office risk for Universal, but it paid off handsomely. We got a unique and challenging event film that was immensely successful at the box office. I mean, Jaws set the rules in 1975. A blockbuster is not just an evening out or a random choice you make at the ticket counter. A blockbuster is defined by a huge theatrical rollout, preceded by advertising blanketed so thickly that the people kind of get sick of it. Copious tie-in merchandise and a sense of urgency. I mean, every major network was airing Jaws TV spots for the entire week leading up to its theatrical release. I mean, that's what I think. I don't know. I wasn't alive. For a blockbuster to really hit it big, the audience has to be convinced that this is the best thing for them to do with their time, money, and friends. You've got to go see it or you'll be left out. It's an event. From the start, these kinds of films have tapped into a very particular kind of marketing, the kind that appeals to our human need to belong. That's what Barbenheimer somehow recaptured and why people showed up in elaborate costumes to see the movies. The Sound of Freedom audience felt the same urgency through a campaign largely conducted through word of mouth. Your friends saw this movie. They posted about it. They want you to see it too, and it's your moral duty to do so. Well, at least you're supposed to feel that way. There's a lesson in this story for an industry that has been fixated on platform agnostic content for so long. You know what's not, or maybe very rarely, an event? A movie that's spat out onto a streaming platform that you can watch whenever you want, wherever you want, probably by yourself. That's true for movies for TV, and the industry used to know this. Remember must-see TV? We still occasionally recapture that magic, as the excitement around the final season of Succession or bigger shows like The House of Dragon have demonstrated. But believe it or not, people actually like to have their lives interrupted by the art that they find entertaining. People don't feel urgency around entertainment that they can get whenever they want. And if anecdotal experience is any indication, they'll just never get around to it. The things that excite us, that cause us to spend money, which is in the end the point for the distributors, are event happenings. We plan and save and post about Taylor Swift concerts and Legends of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom drops, and we rearrange our schedules to make sure we can engage with them when everyone else is. Movies aren't different, and movie theaters done right are the perfect venue for eventizing screen-based entertainment, which when we get down to it, is still just about the cheapest night out activity there is. But despite what it has going against it, the movie industry isn't dead yet, and movies don't have to die. Recapturing the art of creating an event out of a movie might be an uphill climb for an industry that has been fixated on other matters. But if Hollywood wants to keep itself from the brink, it's a lesson they're going to have to agree to finally relearn. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I would love to know all of your thoughts below. A like would mean the world, and if you like this sort of content, consider hitting that subscribe button, and I'll see you all for the next video. Hey, it's me. Sorry there was no beat drop there. Click on this video here. YouTube thinks you might like it. Could be fun for you and the whole family. Okay, sorry.